Would like to welcome. Check 1, 2, check. Would like to welcome everybody to the 2024 Monroe County Fair 4-H Sheep Show. We're just about to be started. If everybody would please rise, gentlemen and ladies, remove your hats. We will have our national anthem. Another beautiful day today. If you look at the show bill, Class 1, we have moved that back to after the U show. So we'll be starting with Class 2, which is home farm born. Home farm born, these families have raised their animals at home. This lamb was born at home, and they have picked their best home farm born animal and brought it to the fair to show for champion and reserve champion home farm born animal. We have 5 entries in the class, starting with Wyatt Olson, Braden Hudoff, Orrin Eganoff, McCoy Vinsel, and Megan Wilson. 5 entries in the class, and your class is complete.
As we move into the sheep show tonight, a pleasure to be back. Like I said in the hog show, glad that this county fair highlights the kids that breed their own animals, bring them and raise them to the show. So give these exhibitors a nice round of applause. They've asked me to pick a champion in reserve amongst the 5. In terms of what I'll be looking for tonight and the priorities that I stick to regardless of species, in terms of being sound structured, having enough muscle and width, and being attractive in terms of show ring animals, there's an obvious standout amongst the crowd. Young man up at the front with the blonde hair is going to be the champion. Congratulations to him. For reserve, I think it can go a number of different ways, but my second choice is the Southtown in the middle. Congratulations to you.
Congratulations. Your champion goes to McCoy Vinsel. And reserve goes to Braden Hudoff. Braden Hudoff. We're now ready for class number 3. Class number 3, this will start our breeding ewes. From class number 3, we have 1 entry being shown by Elise Kalman with her Dorset ewe lamb. 1 entry in the class.
Single entry to start off the breeding show, and I think we've got several of these at the start of the program or the show tonight. Young lady brings us a Dorset that's extremely refined and feminine in terms of her feature up front. She's one that has an abundance of muscle for her breed. One that in terms of her structure, I'd like to relax her in terms of her spine, make her more level in terms of her silhouette and design, but still a very high quality entry. Give the young lady a nice round of applause.
Congratulations goes to Leah Stengel. Oh, I'm sorry. Elise Kalman with her class-winning Dorset ewe lamb and also your champion Dorset ewe lamb. We now should be ready for class number 4. Class number 4. We have 1 entry in the class being shown by Leah Stengel. 1 entry in the class, Hampshire ewe lamb.
Young lady's Hampshire ewe is one that is definitely good in terms of her proportions because she's round in terms of her rib, she's stout and square in terms of her muscularity, and with that added width and dimension, she's still very good in terms of the way that she moves around the ring. Ideally, we'd elevate her in terms of her chest floor and her shoulder placement a notch, but still a very good one. She's doing a nice job. Give her a good round of applause.
Congratulations. Congratulations goes to Leah Stengel, winning the class, and also your champion Hampshire ewe lamb. We're now ready for class number 5. Class number 5, Katahdin ewe lamb. 1 entry in the class, shown by Wyatt Olson. 1 entry in the class, and your class is complete.
Young man single entry Katahdin ewe is one that's really attractive as you study her in terms of her head, neck, and shoulder because she's got a lot of extra length up there. She's smooth at the point of her shoulder and long in terms of her side, moves fairly well. We might stouten her up in terms of her overall body volume some, but he's done a nice job. Please reward him for his efforts.
Congratulations, your class winner goes to Wyatt Olson, and he also is your champion Katahdin ewe lamb. We are now ready for class number 6. Class number 6, natural colored ewe lamb. There's only one class of the natural coloreds. It's being shown by Reese Oliver. 1 entry in the class, and it will also be your champion Katahdin ewe. My apologies, natural colored ewe.
Young ladies brings us the natural color ewe that obviously of the ones that we've seen so far, she has an overwhelming amount of muscle. She's really dense in terms of her body make, broody in terms of her look. She still combines it with some show ring presence. In terms of the way that she moves, we could make her a little more flexible in terms of her rear hog, but that's a very good one. Congratulations to you, young lady. Give her a round of applause.
Congratulations, your class winner and champion natural color goes to Reese Oliver. We're now moving on to class number 7. Class number 7, showing our first class of Southdown ewe lambs. 1 entry in the class being shown by Braden Hudoff. After this class, we will have a second class of Southdown yearling ewes. This ewe lamb was born December the 1st of 23.
Gentlemen's first Southdown ewe is one that you have to appreciate for her total length of side and silhouette, and yet then she's still square enough in terms of her muscle pattern. In an ideal world, we'd make her looser in terms of her spine and free her up some in terms of her movement, but we'll study her further in the Champion Southdown Drive. Give him a big round of applause.
Congratulations, class winner goes to Braden Hudoff. We now have entering our Southdown yearling ewes. Southdown yearling ewes, 2 entries in the class. The first being shown by Braden Hudoff, and the second being shown by Carly Naylor. Both of these yearlings were born in January of 23.
We have 2 in this class that are very different and contrasting in terms of type and kind, so it makes the duo very close in terms of the alignment. The gentleman's going to initiate for me. I think that is the one that's trimmer in terms of her pattern. She's more attractive in terms of her show ring presence. I think she's better in terms of just her length and extension, her refinement up front. Now, the one of the young ladies that comes in second is obviously the stouter one of the pair, and really good in terms of her broodiness and her body shape. She has more muscle, and with that, I do think she has an advantage in terms of the way that she moves at the ground. The problem for me is in terms of a show ring perspective, she wants to get deeper and fuller in terms of her chest, not as correct in terms of her refinement and femininity or her total look. A very good pair, just very different in terms of type and kind. Give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations, your class winner goes to Braden Hudoff, and second in class, Carly Naylor. We are now ready to show for champion and reserve champion Southdown ewe. From class number 7, the Southdown ewe lamb was shown by Braden Hudoff. And from class number 8, the Southdown yearling ewe was shown also by Braden Hudoff. 2 entries in the class, and we are showing for champion and reserve champion Southdown ewe.
Well, as we get out here to pick a breed champion Southdown, the gentleman out of class 2 owns both of them. It's just question is, did he pick the right one? Because that's the point out here. I think they're both very good, but they've got some differences in between them. I do favor the one that he's leading because I think she's better in terms of her look. She's better in terms of the way that she goes. So the one out of the older class will be the champion. When we bring the one that comes in second, we talked about that was a close pair. They were very different in terms of type and kind. I really like her muscle. I like her broodiness, and I like her movement. I'd like to make her more attractive. She's still sounder than the one out of class 1, so the young lady will be reserved. Congratulations to her.
We should now be ready. Oh, excuse me. Congratulations. Your champion Southdown ewe goes to Braden Hudoff with his yearling ewe. And reserve champion also goes to Braden Hudoff with his lamb. We are now ready to show for Suffolk yearling ewe. We have no ewe lambs, be a single class of Suffolks. So first will be your champion and second will be your reserve champion. We have 2 entries in the class being shown by Maylee Hutchinson and the second also being shown by Maylee Hutchinson.
We get out here in this pair, and I'm going to leave them as they came in. Young lady up at the front is going to initiate, and the big difference and the deciding factor between the two is that ewe is way more correct in the way that she handles her spine. When we put her in motion, she's more flexible in terms of the way that she goes up top and down at the ground, and she's got an ample amount of shape and broodiness to her. You know, if you compare her to the one behind her, she's not as attractive in terms of her balance and symmetry, particularly in terms of her front end and her length of neck, and that's the advantage the 1 and 2 has. She is more attractive, she has more balance. If I could just relax her in terms of her top line and spine, she could win for me. That's not the case out here in the ring tonight, but a good pair. Young ladies are doing a nice job. Give them a round of applause.
Congratulations, your class winner and champion Suffolk ewe goes to Maylee Hutchinson. Second to class and your reserve champion Suffolk ewe goes to Maylee Hutchinson. We are now ready for class number 11. Class number 11, your Tunis yearling ewe. Tunis yearling ewe, we have one entry in the class being shown by Megan Wilson. There is only one class in the Tunis, so the Tunis, this will also be your champion Tunis.
Young lady has a single entry Tunis sheep, but that one's a little ring shy, so we let the Suffolk kind of lead her around here, and I understand that. The one that we're actually judging at the back is one that you appreciate the fact that she's strong and stable in terms of her top. She's smooth and flat at the point of her shoulder. She moves pretty good out here. I'd like to scout her everywhere, particularly in terms of her bone and foot, but a good pair, especially the one back here. Congratulations to you, young lady. Give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations, your class winner and your champion Tunis ewe goes to Megan Wilson. We are now ready for class number 12, your black-faced commercial ewe lambs. We have 3 entries in this class, and there will be five classes of the black-faced commercial ewe lambs. 3 entries in the class being shown by Lydia Kerr, Madison Burks, Oren Eganoff. 3 entries in the class, and your class is complete. While he's judging his class, I would really like to welcome Mr. Ryan Rash. He lives in Crockett, Texas. He's the owner of SB Cattle Company, and he's the executive director of BTRJCA. Let's put our hands together for Ryan.
Well, a really logical alignment in the first trio of black-faced ewes, and the young ladies that wins, that one is really good in a lot of areas. Starts with the fact that that's the soundest moving sheep that we've seen all day, that coupled with the fact that she's also the heaviest muscled and has a great deal of show ring look, presence, and poise to her. Those things I like quite well. To be a little critical on her, I'd like to see her transition differently out of the top side of her spine and into her hip. Just make that a little more seamless, but that's getting hypercritical on a very good one. one. The one that comes in 2 simply has more body, and she's better built than the one that comes in 3. You can see the advantage that she has in terms of her rib shape. When they get out and move, she has more freedom and flex and give on the front side of her skeleton compared to the one behind her. She needs to be a little trimmer in terms of her condition. She's not as extended up front. The blue lamb that we close the class out with, lots of extension, lots of refinement and feature. One, though, that's got to simply have more to her in terms of muscle and body. She gets too upright in terms of her knee placement. Give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations, your class winner goes to Lydia Kerr with her first place animal. Second in the class to Madison Burks. And third in the class to Orrin Eganoff. I do apologize. I said there was 5 classes of the blackface. There is only 4 classes, and then we will be showing for the champion and reserve champion blackface. In this class 13, we have 4 entries in the class. Those 4 entries are being shown by Madison Burks, Tanner Hollers, Cheyenne Lyons, and Emma Hacker. 4 entries in the class, and your class is complete.
We got 2 very nice ones, but they're very contrasting in terms of the way that they're built and assembled, and so it's just a type and kind preference. The young lady's in the lead is the type that I prefer because she's longer, she's more extended, she's more show ring oriented, and she's the leaner one of the pair. Now, I realize that she's a little tighter in terms of her rib shape. She's not as full in terms of her body, and she maybe wants to be a little upright in terms of her knee. That's the advantages that the young man has in terms of his ewe. That one is really round in terms of her rib, broody in terms of her appearance, very comfortable and flexible on the go. She's just a little short and quick and jammed together for me. She's also one that I'd like to lean up in terms of her handle. 3 and 4 is separated in terms of structure. The young lady's in third is just better moving, particularly off of her rear tires, one that's still good to look at. She's not as correct in terms of her muscle pattern. She's flatter in terms of her ribs. She's not as good in terms of her translation out of her spine and into her hip. The young lady's in 4, big-legged, rugged, stout-made one that's just got to be better built and better moving to advance up in this class. Give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations, your class winner goes to Emma Hacker. Second in the class to Tanner Hollers. Third in the class to Cheyenne Lyons. And fourth in the class to Madison Burks. I should now be ready for class 14. Class 14, 4 entries in the class. 4 entries in the class being shown by Samuel Baines, Madison Burks, Colton Stogstill, and Jalen Goodwin. 4 entries in the class, and your class is complete. Attention in the barn. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2.
Well, we've got a nice one up at the top that is an easy handle in this particular class because she's the stout, powerful, dimensional one that's the soundest in terms of her structure. She still combines some show breeding look. In an ideal world, we'd smooth her up in terms of her shoulder placement and assembly, elongate her in terms of her front just a notch, but she's the easy one in this particular group. After that, you can do a variety of different things for second. The one that I choose is the young lady in the green. I think that's the one that has a lot of look and profile, still enough muscle to her. I change her in terms of her body type, but she's considerably leaner than the one that comes in third that is rounder and fuller in terms of her body build and shape. She's one that's got enough muscle. To me, we've got to lean her up in terms of her condition, make her better on the go. And then the 1 and 4 is one that has more look and presence, one that's attractive in terms of balance. We get her in motion. She's just too tight and tense. And the top side of her spine, she doesn't want to get out and flex her rear hock. Give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations, your class winner goes to Samuel Baines. Second in the class to Madison Burks. Third to Jalen Goodwin. And fourth to Colton Stogstall. Now ready to enter the arena with class number 15, class 15. We have entries being shown by Henley Hill, Garrett Goodwin, and Regan Clark. 3 entries in the class, and your class is complete.
In this trio here, if we leave the young ladies, blonde-headed young ladies, the U stopped or in the park position, an awful lot to admire because she's obviously classy and good-looking in terms of her show ring presence. She is stout, she is powerful, and she is opened up in terms of her muscle. She's really good in terms of her freshness, her touch, and her tone out here. All of those things I like a lot about her. We get her in motion, and she wants to get a little straighter and more rigid, particularly out of her front end. I'd like to just build her just a little differently from knee to ground and hock to ground to make her more comfortable, but getting critical on a good one. Young ladies that comes in second is a little more mobile out here, and she too has a ton of power and a ton of muscle. For me, she's got to be considerably leaner and better looking, particularly in terms of her chest floor, her shoulder placement, and the way that she's designed through her head, neck, and shoulder. But there's so much more of her than the one that comes in 3 that is longer sided and taller fronted. Unfortunately for that within the trio, she's the frailest one in terms of her feature. She's the lightest one in terms of her muscle. Give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations. Your class winner goes to Henley Hill. Second in the class to Regan Clark. And third in the class to Garrett Goodwin. We should now be ready to show for champion and reserve champion black-faced commercial ewe lamb. From class number 12 in first place, we had Lydia Kerr. Second place behind Lydia we had Madison Burks. From Class 13 in first place, Emma Hacker. And in second place from Class 13, Tanner Hollers. From Class 14 in first place, we have Samuel Baines. In second in Class 14, we have Madison Burks. In Class 15, we have Henley Hill with the first place animal. And second, Regan Clark, showing for champion and reserve champion Blackface Commercial ewe lamb.
Well, obviously the largest numbers and definitely the most competitive of any of the breeds that we've seen so far in the breeding sheep show. Give the Blackface exhibitors a nice round of applause. And there's lots of differences out here in terms of type and kind. I don't think there's a runaway winner within the foursome that wins the first place in each class. And so I'll just briefly describe them to you. The one out of Class 1, she's easily the soundest and the best built. With that, she's one that's got a great deal of muscle and mass, one of the two better handling ones within the lineup, and yet she's still really a picture in terms of balance and symmetry. And so you say all those good things. Why is it close? I really need to change her in the way that she comes out of her spine and into her hip, make her more fashionable and level in terms of her hip placement and assembly for it to be just an absolute knockout punch, but one that I like a lot of things about. The one that comes in second is obviously good looking and attractive. You can tell out of the lineup she's the lighter muscled one of the group, that's tighter and shallower in terms of her rib shape, not as good in terms of her body build, but one that you appreciate a lot of things about. The gentleman's that comes next is one that's really stout and rugged in terms of bone, got some muscle, got some mass, and I think that of the group out here, that's probably the second best moving one in terms of having that amount of muscle, still getting out to be able to go. If you study her compared to the ones on either end, she's not as attractive in the way that she's built through her front end, because she's bolder in terms of her shoulder placement. She wants to hang more lower shoulder down low, and she's not quite as neat and tidy in terms of her head, neck, and shoulder, but one that's really got some mass and still moves pretty good. If we can leave the one at back stopped, she can go and run really, really hard because she's extra good looking in terms of her profile. She is the stoutest one in terms of her muscle. I think she handles quite well. Also, the problem is when we get her in motion, that's where the wheels start to come apart just a little bit. You can see it both on the stop and when we get her going. She's just too tight and rigid off either end of her skeletal system for me to be very comfortable in elevating her out of here. And so lots of good out here. The one I like is out of Class 1. The one I like next is out of Class 3. Give them a good round of applause.
Congratulations, your champion back-faced commercial ewe goes to Lydia Kerr. And your reserve champion black-faced commercial ewe lamb goes to Samuel Baines. We're now ready to enter Class 17. We're moving into our white-faced commercial ewe lambs. We will have two classes of white-faced commercial ewes. Class 17 has 3 entries being shown by McCoy Vinsel, Reagan Connard, and Carly Naylor. 3 entries in the class, and your class is complete. Would like to let everybody know this at this time that the Wilson family here to my left is taking pictures of all the shows this week. They've done a tremendous job so far. You can go to EK Brand Selective dot photography slash EK brand selective slash photography. My apologies. So if you have any questions on that, you can come to me and we can give you that address. All these pictures are on the internet and they are free for the giving.
We move out here in this trio, and obviously a lot of differences and a lot of contrast, particularly between the top two. In an ideal world, we would take the parts and pieces that we really liked about both and roll them into one. That's not the case, but there's a lot to be appreciative of in both of them, and actually all three of them. The young man's going to win the class because that is the sound, well-built one that is very good in terms of body shape, one that I think is attractive enough in terms of lines and balance. She's not the longest fronted or the tightest in terms of her chest floor. I'd like to elevate her through her front end some, but she's solid in the way that she's built. She's got muscle, and she's particularly better in terms of her motion. Now, the one that comes in second obviously is the best looking one of the three. She's the long neck, really sharp featured one that's got a tremendous amount of power when you get on top and from behind her. For me, she comes apart just a little bit in terms of her body shape. She's also a little frailer in terms of her feature, tighter wound in terms of the way that she moves. Young lady had an unfortunate incident. That one fell off the table right before we came out in the ring, and you can see that one's hurting out here. That's why we didn't ask her to go the whole distance. She's doing a good job, and young lady, if that one was moving really well, you'd be in the thick of things because you've got a big-bodied one that's got some muscle. I hope she heals up for you, but you did a good job. Give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations. Your class winner goes to McCoy Vinsel. Second in the class, Carly Naylor. And third to Reagan Connard. We're now ready to enter the arena with our white face commercial yearling ewe. White face commercial yearling ewe. 2 entries in the class being shown by Carly Naylor and Regan Clark.
Young lady in the checkered board shirt is going to win this class, and within the pair, that is the one that has a lot more muscle, a lot more power. She handles fresher, and yet I think she is the one that puts together a more pleasing silhouette in terms of her presence. Now, in terms of her range of motion, she wants to get a little narrow and tight in terms of her rear hog, and while I do think she's the better looking one of the pair, study her in terms of her profile. She wants to become deeper in terms of her chest and higher in terms of her flank, so that throws off her silhouette just a little bit. The young ladies that comes in second, very broody, big-bodied, and sound-moving, need to lean her up, freshen her up in terms of her handle, make her just a little jazzier as you study her up front. But a good pair. Give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations. Your class winner goes to Reagan Clark, and second in class to Carly Naylor. We are now ready to show for our champion and reserve champion white-faced commercial ewe. From class 17 with the class winner white-faced commercial ewe lamb, I have McCoy Vinsel. Standing in second behind McCoy, we have Carly Naylor. From class number 18, in first, we have Reagan Clark. And standing second behind her, we have Carly Naylor. Showing for champion and reserve champion, white-faced commercial U. And your class is complete.
As we get out here in this drive, once again, give these exhibitors a big round of applause for their efforts out here this afternoon. Obviously, if you're studying the two up front, they are very, very different in terms of type and kind. And a lot of that has to do with the breeds that they make up in terms of there's some differences in between them. I think this is a very close decision, and to be honest with you, I think you can justify it either way. The gentleman's up front is the really good built, sound moving one that's still appropriate in terms of proportions, in terms of dimension of muscle. As we talked about in class, maybe not as show ring oriented, not as outstanding or tall fronted, and one that's not quite as good in terms of just natural look and presence. The one that comes in second has that in spades. She is really long fronted. She is super good in terms of her top line, powerful and stout in terms of her shape. The problem is with her is when we get her going, she wants to get a little upright in terms of her knee, a little narrow in terms of her hock. So those are the differences I see in them. You have to decide which one you just like more. The one that's more my type and kind is the young lady at the back. That will be the champion. Gentleman up front will be reserved. Congratulations to both.
Reagan Clark is your champion, white-faced commercial U. And reserve champion goes to McCoy Vinsel. We should now be ready for class number 20. Class number 20, female flock. No female flock. We are ready to show, I guess. We have no ewe and lamb in class 21. We have no class 22. We are ready to show for Supreme and Reserve Supreme U, Monroe County 2024. We will also be placing the top 5. With our Dorset, we have Elise Kalman, Hampshire, Leah Stangl, Katahdin, Wyatt Olson. Natural color, we have Reese Oliver. Southdown champion, we have Braden Hudoff. Standing behind Braden's champion, we have reserve champion, also is showing by Braden Hudoff. Suffolk, we have Maylee Hutchison with her champion. Behind Maylee, in reserve champion, we have Maylee Hutchinson. Tunis, we have Megan Wilson. Blackface champion, we have Lydia Kerr. Standing behind Lydia with her reserve champion, we have Samuel Baines. And white-faced commercial, we have Reagan Clark. Standing behind Reagan, we have McCoy Vinsel. Your class is complete. Let's put our hands together for all these young people for winning their breed. The Supreme U will receive a banner that was sponsored by Cambry Robeson, and Reserve Champion will receive a banner sponsored by Naylor Trucking. Thank you to both these families and businesses for doing this for us.
Well, as we get out here to crown a top 5 at the county fair this afternoon, y'all been awfully quiet. Put your hands together for these kids. Show them some love. Done a good job out here. Nice set. And to be honest, it's been good. There's been some quality up top, but this top 5 is pretty logical, pretty easy to me. The 2 blacks are staying together as Grand and Reserve. The 2 whites are going to come 3rd and 4th. Young lady right here is going to be number 5. Congratulations to her.
Congratulations, your Supreme U 2024 goes to Lydia Kerr. Reserve Supreme U goes to Samuel Baines. 3rd overall to Regan Clark. 4th overall to McCoy Vinsel. And 5th overall to Reese Oliver. Let's put our hands together for all these young people one more time. We are now ready to get ready for our adult showmanship, so we'll need some help from kids. Bringing lambs down to be shown by adults. Duty Ekwonk, Edward Ullman, Jenna Clark, Kylie Robeson, Clint Deck, Cody Kalman, Dennis Kalman, Lacey Brenniger, Kirby Hostclaw, Rhea Hollers, McKenna Brooks, Nana Hollers, Shanna Oliver, Cheyenne Tenney, Jacoby, and Adam Bueller. I need you, those adults, to make their way to the makeup arena at this time, please. Would like to thank our sponsors of today's show. We have Marge Bueller in honor of Rick Bueller, Stock Signs and Designs, BJ McElroy, Hall's Greenhouse, Clark Landscaping LLC, RH Marlin Excavating, Hollers Welding, Furry Friends Veterinary Hospital, Cambry Robeson, Naylor Trucking LLC, Barn Mom Rhea Hollers, Pictures Emma Wilson and Katie Wilson EK Collectives, Tag-ins Richard Hall for the ring help and our ring help, we will be doing our dress up right before we start this. Dress up will be next before we do adults. Are we ready for dress up? Ryan, you're going to get a break on this one. The Queen takes care of this. So we have our entries coming in at this time. Lydia, I'm going to give you a microphone. You can ask names and what they represent. Hey, Grace.
Okay, so for the judging portion for tonight, I'm going to ask their names and their sheep's name. So let's go over here to our lifeguard. What is your name?
Leah.
And what is your sheep's name?
Charlotte.
I love it. Okay, Miss Lady Liberty, what's your name?
Allie Hacker.
And what is your sheep's name?
Linda.
I love it. Okay, Miss Princess Fairy, who do we have here?
Addie.
And what is your sheep's name?
Bobby.
Bobby, I love it. Okay, we have another Lady Liberty. What is your name?
Charlotte.
And what is your sheep's name?
Emma.
I love it. Okay, Miss Special Police Force over here, who do we have?
Alexandria.
And what is your sheep's name?
Cider.
I love it. Okay, we're coming over here too. I don't even know what's going on over here. This is just, wow. What is your name?
Avery, Camry, and Emma.
And what is your sheep's name?
Dojo. And we're Corella and Dalmatian.
I love it. Okay, can we give everybody a big round of applause for all of their efforts tonight? I'm gonna go convene with my court and we will be right back. I can't even make a decision because these are all too good. I feel like I don't even know. I mean, we have a car over here. We have two Lady Liberties, patriotic, go USA. I don't know, someone else want to make this decision besides me? Well, you're partial to the car. What did you say? Yeah, okay. So we're gonna do a poll. So who thinks that Miss Lifeguard over here should win? Yes, give it up for her. What about Miss Allie? Yes. What about Miss Addie? Yeah. What about our other Miss Lady Liberty? Yeah. What about our policewoman over here? Okay, and finally, what about our Dalmatians over here? Well, I think there we have it. Our Dalmatians are the winner! Yay! You all look amazing and did a wonderful job. So thank you all for participating. You all look wonderful. I'm so happy you guys came out and participated. Thank you guys.
We are now ready. As soon as we clear the arena, we will be ready for our adult showmanship. Adult showmanship. I've called in the barn. I've called here. We should have Duty Eckwink, Edward Ullman, Jenna Clark, Kylie Robeson, Clint Deck, Cody Kalman, Dennis Kalman, Lacey Brenniger, Kirby Hostclaw, Rhea Hollers, McKenna Brooks, Nana Hollers, Shanna Oliver, Cheyenne Tenney, Jacoby, and Adam Bueller. Should have all of you with a lamb in the makeup arena. We're now starting our adult showmanship.
I thought I saved myself, but not having to judge the dress up, this may be worse because he writes my check and he's not going to win, so I'm probably leaving with no money when this is over with. But give the adults a nice round of applause. You kids, y'all missed out. This is where you're supposed to yell at them and tell them what to do, like they do to y'all on the ring. Back foot back, loin. None of y'all are doing that, so y'all missed your opportunity completely. Young lady, you're the champion. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Kylie Robeson, our champion adult showman. Hey, Kylie. Hey, Kylie, check's in the mail. We should be ready for class number one, which is home farm born market animals. I would at this time like to introduce, and I want to thank them especially from my heart because they do a great job here for us, our queen, Miss Grace Richards, our first runner-up, Laura Carnegie, our second runner-up, which I believe is back taking care of some animals right now, Miss Reese Oliver. Miss Congeniality, Lacey Brenniger. Our princess, Josie Jones. And our princess, Miss Congeniality, Carell Patanode. Put our hands together for all these young ladies. I do have one more entry in the home farm born.
Well, please put your hands together once again for these kids that breed their own, bring them to the show. Very special, very difficult thing to do. As you study the sheep out here, there are two that elevate up in terms of muscle and show ring presence. And then when we get them in motion in terms of their structural integrity, it's very decisively the young man at the back needs to win. Congratulations to him. Young man right here in the middle will be reserved. Congratulations to you.
Congratulations, McCoy Vincel with your champion. And reserve champion goes to Jake Naylor. Put our hands together. These people do this at home, and it's not just a 3 or 4 month thing. It's 12 months out of the year. We're now coming into the arena with our Dorset Market Lambs. Dorset Market Lambs. There are only 2 Dorsets in the show this year, so Your class winner will be the champion. Reserve champion will be the second place animals. These animals weigh 113 and 124 pounds.
Got a nice pair of Dorsets to start out with. They're pretty different in terms of their type and kind. Going to leave them as they came in. Young lady in the rose-colored shirt up front is going to initiate. That ewe has a lot more power and substance, muscle, and just overall wit. With that added advantage in terms of density, that one is also the sounder moving sheep of the two because she's better in terms of how relaxed she is in terms of her spine. And no doubt the advantage in terms of look, extension, and presence goes to the young ladies that comes in second. Longer sided, longer fronted, more refined up front, not as much muscle, not as much power, and then when you get her in motion, she gets too tight up high. Give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations, your class winner and champion Dorset Market Lamb goes to Jalen Goodwin, and second to class and reserve champion Elise Kalman. Ready now for class number three. Class number three, your Hampshire Market Lambs. We have 4 entries in the class. Entry being shown by Reese Oliver, Braden Bailey, Tanner Hollers, and Marina Raines. 4 entries in the class, ranging from 119 to 128 pounds. 4 entries in the class, and your class is complete. I get class.
The young lady in the cheetah print shirt is going to initiate, and as you study the top pair, that one's one that actually has more look, more presence, more show ring appeal. With that, that's the heavier muscle trimmer pattern one that has more total length and extension. Now, what keeps the pair relatively close is when we put that one in motion, I'd like to see that one more flexible and comfortable, particularly in terms of how that one motivates out of the rear hip and hock. And that's the advantage the young man's, whether in second has definitely more comfortable out here in terms of range of motion. Very good in terms of structural build. There's plenty of muscle in this sheep as well. He's a little lower set in terms of his shoulder and front end. He's a little more compact in terms of his body design and segments. Young ladies in third has got one that's attractive and good looking compared to the top two. Not as much natural product or his mass, but one that's better moving than the one that comes in four. 1 and 4 is one that you like in terms of presence, got some power. Got to see that one go differently, particularly onto the front end of that skeleton. Give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations. Class number 3 winner goes to Marina Raines. Second to class, Tanner Hollers. Third to Reese Oliver. And fourth to Braden Bailey. We're now ready for class number 4. Class number 4, this will be our last class of Hampshire Market Lambs. We have 4 entries in the class. 4 entries in the class, ranging from 135 pounds to 144 pounds. Those entries are being shown by Samuel Baines, McCoy Vinsel, Lydia Kerr, and Carly Naylor. 4 entries in the class, ranging from 135 pounds to 144 pounds. And your class is complete.
Well, so far of what we've seen in terms of a class, this is definitely the deepest in terms of quality and the most competitive throughout, because I like things about all four of the sheep in this particular group. And with that being said, a standout amongst the crowd of the young lady in the multicolored shirt up front. That one takes the parts and pieces of the ones that stand in second and third and roll them into one critter, because that one is heavy muscle, paper thin in terms of hide, rock hard in terms of handle, but fresh to the touch and tone, one that is excellent in terms of running gear and movement, and still has a great amount of show ring presence and appeal. Does that one want to hang a little bit of lower shoulder? Probably so, but I'm going to forgive it, because to have that much muscle, be that good looking and sound, hard to do. The closer decision is between 2 and 3. The gentleman's in second has more power, more mass. He's firmer to the touch. He's also the one that's just a little trimmer and leaner all the way through. The issue with him is you'll study him. Young man does a great job showing him, but when we get him in motion, he wants to get outside of himself in terms of how he handles his hip and rear hock. He's shorter in terms of his segments, not quite as well built in terms of mobility as the 1 and 3. The 1 and 3 is attractive and good looking, very good built at the ground. There's not enough to him in terms of muscle, mass, and dimension, and that coupled with the fact that he's the softest handling one of the top trio, he ends up third in a very tough class. Young lady's got a nice one that's good in terms of movement and mobility, one that's got some muscle, one that's just too flat in terms of the way that one's built in terms of side, not as good in terms of handle, but a really, really good class. Give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations, your class winner goes to Lydia Kerr. Second in the class, Samuel Baines. Third in the class, McCoy Vinsel. And fourth to Carly Naylor. We're now ready to show for champion and reserve champion Hampshire Market Lamb. From class number 3, in first, we have Mariner Rains. From class number 4, in first, we have Lydia Kerr. From class number 3 in second, we have Tanner Hollers. And from class number 4 in second, we have Samuel Baines. Showing for champion Hampshire Market Lamb.
Well, let's give the Hampshire exhibitors a big round of applause. A good set, quality set of sheep, really some ones up at the top end of these classes that have a lot that you can admire. An easy lights out champion and the young lady out of class 2. Congratulations to her. I think for reserve, it gets closer. There's differences between them. The one that's sounder structured and better moving, Cheetah up front, will be reserve. Congratulations to you.
Congratulations, your champion Hampshire Market Lamb goes to Lydia Kerr. And your reserve champion Hampshire Market Lamb goes to Mariner Rains. Now ready to enter the arena with class number 7, class number 7, class number 6, class number 6. They all look alike. We have our Cathodon Market Lambs. Cathodon Market Lambs. I have 4 entries in the class. 2 entries in this class. We will have 2 classes of Cathodon. In this class, we have an entry by Kendall Zeich and a class by Wyatt Olson. These lambs weigh 62 and 64 pounds.
Well, I think this is a very close pair, and there's give and take and trade-offs between them. Young lady with the lighter colored one's going to win for me. That one portrays more balance and symmetry and presence. In terms of her side view silhouette, because she's stronger down her top line, she's more nearly level. In terms of her hip placement and assembly, with that, that's the bolder ribbed one, and one that I think has enough muscle. Now, she's not quite as good in terms of her soundness. That advantage goes to the young man with the weather that comes into better moving, better structured. One, though, that wants to break and separate behind the shoulder, be a little frailer, and wants to come apart just a little bit in terms of silhouette. But trade-offs between the two, very good, both of them. Kids did a nice job. Give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations, your class winner of class number 6 goes to Kendall Zyke. Second to class to Wyatt Olson. We're now ready to move on to class number 7. Class number 7, we will have 2 entries in the class, both being shown by Kendall Zyke. One of her lambs weighs 87 pounds, the other weighs 89.
Going to leave this pair as they came in. The predominantly black weather is going to lead off, and of the ones that we've seen in this particular breed, obviously he is the one that has the most stoutness, the most muscularity. He's overwhelming advantages in terms of his roundness of rib, his body shape and build, and one that is still long-necked, and that neck set is more correct on the top side of that shoulder than the one that comes in 2. He gets a little upright in terms of his shoulder and knee. I'd like to see him go differently on the front side of his skeleton. That's the advantage the young ladies in 2 has. Really sound moving, very good build, a long level one in terms of silhouette, not the overall mass and dimension though. Give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations to Kendall Zyke with her first place animal, and also Kendall Zyke with her second place animal. We are now ready to show for champion and reserve champion Cathodon market animal. From that class number 6 in first, we had Kendall Zyke. And in first place from class number 7, Kendall Zyke. Second place from class number 6, we have Wyatt Olson. And second class number 8, we have Kendall Zyke. Showing for champion and reserve champion Cathodon market animal.
Well, let's give the Cathodon market exhibitors a nice round of applause. These kids are doing a good job. Good set of sheep, very similar in terms of type and kind. Muscle and power separate them out. The 2 heavyweights will stick together, grand and reserve. Congratulations to you.
Congratulations. Your champion Cathodon goes to Kendall Zyke. And your reserve champion also goes to Kendall Zyke. Let's put our hands together for these young people. We're now ready for class number 9. Class number 9, natural colored market lambs. We have 5 entries in the class. There is only one class of the natural coloreds, so this will also be our champion and reserve champion. 5 entries in the class, ranging from 113 to 153 pounds. Entries being shown by Jalen Goodwin, Colton Stockstill, Leah Stengel, Jake Naylor, and Marina Raines. 5 entries in the class, and your class is complete.
Well, I think without a doubt, not just only tonight, but also if you put the hog show in it, this is the most interesting class to sort. And you run into these type of classes at times where you could truly justify any one of the 5 to be in the front or to be at the end, because there's just that many differences in between them. All you have to do as a judge when you run into these situations is talk them right, because they literally can go any way that you want them to. The one that I lead off with of the young lady in the rose-colored shirt, that's the freshest handling. That's the most attractive one that I think has an ample amount of muscularity. That one for me needs to be different in terms of body shape, particularly in terms of lower rib. And when we get that one in motion, I want to see that one go differently and flex differently off both ends of the skeletal system. But I'll take that freshness of handle and that freshness overall over the one that comes in second. The 1 and 2 is powerful. Tall fronted, long and extended, like those things, entirely too soft in terms of handle, too stale in terms of handle as well. We're just probably 30 days past that one's prime in terms of not only how that one handles, but also the maturity look that that one displays. But there's a lot of power and substance, and that one moves better than the one that comes in 3. The 1 and 3 is one that is fresher, better looking, more attractive, handles really good, probably the best handling one of the class other than the one that leads. That one's body type is a little more complex in terms of the fact that that one wants to be a little more concave in terms of rib, higher in terms of flank. And then when we get that one in motion, you can study her offside hind leg. She just doesn't get out and put it where she needs to. Then we've got 1 and 4 that's a little sounder moving, plainer and less descript in terms of muscle, not quite as good in terms of shoulder and knee placement when we get that one stopped, but still one that I think is fresher in terms of touch and look than the young ladies in 5. That one has a lot of muscle, a lot of mass, extended up front, just not fresh enough in terms of handle, and that one has the most struggles when we put that one in motion off the front end. Really good class, some quality, so many differences. Give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations. Your class winner and your champion natural color market lamb goes to Jalen Goodwin. Second and reserve champion natural colored goes to Leah Stengel. Third to Jake Naylor. Fourth to Colton Stockstill. And fifth to Marina Raines. We now have in the arena our Oxford market lambs. There's only one class, weight ranging from 141 pound to 125 pound. Oxford market lambs, 2 entries being shown by Madeline Baines and Tanner Hollers. 2 entries in the class, and your class is complete.
Two really good sheep in this particular class, just some differences in between them. The young man in the pale green shirt has the longer, more extended sheep of the pair that has more natural width and dimension, one that I think is good enough in terms of handle. When that one came in, I didn't think that one would be quite fresh enough to the touch, but he actually is. He's not quite as good in terms of that quality as the one behind him, but adequate enough, and that added length and power get him into the first place slot. Young ladies in second is fresh and firm to the touch, like the texture of the muscularity that one displays. Very attractive up front. That one just gets shorter in terms of body segments, a little frailer in terms of bone, not as much natural mass, but a good pair. Very close. Give them a round of applause.
Congratulations, your class winner and champion Oxford Market Lamb goes to Tanner Hollers. And second in the class and reserve champion Oxford Market Lamb goes to Madeline Baines. Now entering the arena, we have class number 11. This will be a single class of Shropshires. We have 3 entries in the class, ranging from 120 to 142 pounds. 3 entries in the class being shown by Josie Baines, Miley Burks, and Reagan Clark. 3 entries in the class, and your class is complete.
Young lady in the black and white shirt is going to lead off the trio, and it's simply because that one is way more correct in terms of structural build, particularly in terms of spine and skeletal correctness, not only when we put them in motion, but also when we have them stopped and driven. And then that's a powerful sheep in terms of muscle. Not as quite as good in terms of handling quality as the one that comes in second, not as sleek through the front end as the one that comes in 2, and that's what keeps it close. And if I could just relax the 1 and 2 in terms of spine, then that one would win for me, because there's enough power and enough muscle in that individual. He does handle better, and I think he's more attractive. He just gets too tight and tense up high to go on and win. The young ladies that comes in third, very long terms in terms of silhouette, long in terms of handle, in terms of hip, but one that doesn't have enough power, and that one is one that we got to lean up and tone up in terms of freshness out here. Give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations, your champion Shropshire Market Lamb goes to Reagan Clark, your reserve champion Josie Baines, and third in that class, Miley Burks. We are now ready for Southdown Market Lamb. Southdown Market Lamb. We only have 1 class of Southdowns and 3 entries in the class. Weights ranging from 114 to 130 pounds. Those entries being shown by Josie Jones, Maylee Hutchinson, and Braden Hudoff. Class number 12, Southdown Market Lamb, and your class is complete.
Real logical trio out here. The young ladies that win, I think solid is a good term for that one, because within the trio that is easily the soundest moving, the heaviest muscled, and the best looking, add that up, that one needs to win, and she does. The one that comes in second is simply better in terms of handle than the 1 and 3, because that one is leaner and has more tone, appropriate amount of muscle, not nearly as neat and tidy or good in terms of look or as good structured as the one that wins. Young ladies in third is one that's got some added length and extension. That's the lightest muscled one that's just got to be leaner. Give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations, your class winner goes to Josie Jones. Second in the class, Braden Hudoff. And third in the class goes to Maylee Hutchinson. I do apologize, that was for champion and reserve champion. So your champion South Down goes to Josie Jones, and your reserve champion to Braden Hudoff. Now in the arena, we have our first class of Suffolk lambs. First class of Suffolk lambs. We have 2 entries in the class, weights of 94 and 110 pounds. We have an entry by Effie Eganol and an entry by Orrin Eganol. 2 entries in the class, and your class is complete.
Gentleman's going to lead off within this first pair in the Suffolk division, and that is the one that has more natural width, dimension, and squareness of shape. With that one is more nearly correct in terms of hip. Now the young ladies is one that I like more in terms of handling quality, because there is more freshness, more tone, and more texture when you place your hands on that individual wether. One though that if you'll study that one in terms of hip placement and assembly, not as correct, not as good in terms of range of motion. They do a good job. Give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations. Your class winner goes to Orrin Eganol, and second to class to Effie Eganol. We now are ready for class 14. Class 14, we will have 2 entries in the class. Those entries weigh 129 and 134 pounds. They are being shown by Brian Conley and Tanner Hollers. 2 entries in the class, weights ranging from 129 to 134 pounds. And your class is complete.
We get an interesting pair out here, and it's probably a little closer than what I first thought, because the young man in the pale green, he has the more fundamentally correct sheep in terms of build, structural integrity, and yet that's a square individual that has more natural width and dimension. The problem is he's too soft in terms of his handle. He's a little past his prime in terms of his show ring readiness out here, but still the better built one. The one that comes in 2 is obviously leaner and longer sided, not as much power, not as much substance and width. Boys do a nice job. Give them a good round of applause.
Congratulations, your class winner goes to Tanner Hollers, and second to class to Brian Conley. We are now ready to show for champion and reserve champion Suffolk Market Lamb. From class number 13 in first, we had Orrin Eganol. From class number 14 in first, we had Tanner Hollers. From class 13 in second, we had Effie Egana. And from class 14 in second, we have Brian Conley, showing for champion and reserve champion Suffolk Market Lamb.
Well, let's reward the Suffolk exhibitors with a good round of applause. The kids have worked hard, brought you some nice sheep to display at the county fair. I think a very logical decision to keep the two from the heavyweight class together. Congratulations to you, young man. You'll be reserved. Give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations, your champion Suffolk Market Lamb goes to Tanner Hollers, and your reserve champion goes to Brian Conley. Now entering the arena, class number 16, white-faced commercial market lambs. We only have one class of white-faced commercials, so this will also show for champion and reserve champion commercial white-face. We have 3 entries in the class ranging from 114 to 127 pounds. Those entries are being shown by Carly Naylor, Braden Bailey, and Maylee Hutchinson. 3 entries in the class, and your class is complete.
Going to leave this trio as they came in. Young lady up front's got the sound moving one of the trio that's the best in terms of look and presence, and one of the 2 that are lean enough in terms of handle. Now that one is not overwhelming in terms of muscle, and that's what keeps it relatively close, because the one in second is obviously the most powerful in terms of being the biggest back, the squarest ended, and the densest in terms of make. Problem for that sheep though is that one's bolder and coarser in terms of shoulder, and then when we put that one in motion, he wants to get too tight and tense up in the top side of his spine, but he is considerably leaner than the one that comes in 3 that's got some extra extension, got a nice look up front, just the lightest muscled one that's got to be trimmed up some out of here. Give him a good round of applause.
Congratulations, your class winner and champion white-faced commercial market lamb goes to Carly Naylor. Second in the class and reserve champion white-faced commercial market lamb goes to Braden Bailey. And third in the class to Maylee Hutchinson. Now entering the arena, we have class 17 black-faced commercial market lambs. We have 4 entries in the class ranging from 92 to 119 pounds. 4 entries in the class being shown by McCoy Vinsel, Reagan Connard, Brendan Conley, and Mariner Raines. 4 entries in the class ranging from 92 to 119 pounds, and your class is complete.
Well, a real logical place to start with the blonde-headed young man up front. That's the power sheep in terms of muscle, width, squareness, one that's very good in terms of handle within his contemporaries in this particular class. Still nice enough in terms of look and presence. Is that one just effortless in terms of how that one gets out and goes? No, the U's not. And that's where I change her just a little bit, but she's still a logical one out here. The closer decision is between 2 and 3. Young lady that comes in second's got the better looking trimmer one that I think is just a little sounder all the way through. Now I realize 1 and 3rd has an abundance of muscle, has the power advantage within the pair of 2 and 3, just not as correct in terms of structure. Need to freshen that one up in terms of handle. Young lady's got a long, lean one that comes in 4, very attractive up front, the lightest muscle and the frailest made. Give them a good round of applause.
Congratulations, your class winner goes to McCoy Vinsel. Second in the class to Mariner Rains. Third to Brendan Conley. And fourth to Reagan Connard. Now entering the arena, we should be ready for Class 18. Class 18, 3 entries in the class, ranging from 125 to 129 pounds. Three entries in the class being shown by Marin Conley, Cheyenne Lyons, Caitlin Goodwin. Once again, weights ranging from 125 to 129 pounds. And your class is complete.
The young lady's ewe in the lead is the attractive, good-looking one of the set that has a considerable advantage in terms of freshness out here, both when you look at them visually and then also when you handle the individuals. That's why she wins. She is overpowering in terms of her muscle, bone, foot, and features. The one that comes in second, no, but more my kind. The young lady's in second is obviously the stoutest one of the group in terms of mass and squareness, one that's still very good at the ground in terms of mobility, a big bone one out here. That one is just past his prime in terms of his show ring readiness and market readiness, one that's too soft in terms of handle, too stale in terms of appearance. Young lady that comes in third right there is one that you appreciate the fact that pair is actually switched. She's second and that one's third. There we go. Yeah. The young lady that ends up in third has got one that's good in terms of length and levelness, not quite as correct in terms of structural integrity, not quite as good in terms of handle, but a nice set. Give those young ladies a good round of applause.
Congratulations, your class winner goes to Caitlin Goodwin. Second in the class, Cheyenne Lyons. And third in the class, Marin Conley. We now have entering the arena Class 19 of blackface commercial lambs. We have 5 entries in the class, ranging from 131 to 135 pounds. Those entries are being shown by Josie Jones, Lydia Kerr, Liam Conley, Jake Naylor, and Megan Wilson. 5 entries in the class, weights ranging from 131 to 135 pounds, and your class is complete.
I think we got a good pair of sheep up top. They're relatively close in terms of how they sort out because they're so different in terms of their type and kind. I'd like to take the things I like about both of them and roll them into one package. Then we'd have the ideal one. The decisive advantage for me is when I get my hands on them. Young ladies up at the lead is way better in terms of touch, tone, freshness, and firmness. And that's also the one that's got an abundance of muscle and mass, still handles it well in terms of movement out here. He's just not super big looking as you study him up front because he's too short and thick in terms of his neck. He's too low set in terms of his shoulder. That's the advantages that the young lady in 2 has. That's the one that's got more poise, presence, and profile as you study him in terms of the side view silhouette. She's good in terms of her lines. She's just a little soft and stale out here in terms of her handle. Study her in terms of the transition out of her spine and into her hip. She's not as correct there, but a nice pair. Then the one in 3rd is really good stopped, very tall fronted, really good in terms of handle. The problem is you can even see it on the rear locks out there. That one is just too straight and rigid in terms of how that one moves and stands. Wants to hyperextend those rear legs in motion. Just got to make that one sounder. The one in 4 of the gentlemen's is just taller fronted and got more muscle than the one that comes in 5. Young ladies in 5 is one that you appreciate the roundness of rib and the body volume. We've got to lean that one up and make that one more attractive. Give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations, your class winner, Lydia Kerr. 2nd in the class, Josie Jones. 3rd in the class, Jake Naylor. 4th in the class, Liam Conley. And 5th in the class, Megan Wilson. We now have class number 20. Class number 20. We have 5 entries in the class. Weights ranging from 138 pounds to 151 pounds. Those entries are being shown by Tanner Hollers, Emma Hacker, Kinley Ball, Madison Burks, and Mackenzie Burks. 5 entries in the class ranging from 138 pounds to 151 pounds. And your class is complete.
Well, we get a stout pair up on top, and muscle is not a problem with either one of them. The young man's is fresher to the touch, fresher in terms of appearance, because that one is more correct in terms of neck set, one that's leaner in terms of neck thinness, one that's better in terms of shoulder placement, a very good one at the ground in terms of mobility, handles simply better than the one that comes in second. The 1 and 2 has got more natural shape, particularly up high, really a big back, square-ended one that's still good at the ground in terms of movement movement. I think that one is attractive enough from the shoulder blade back. Study that one up front. Just gets a little plainer and more mature in terms of look, and also handles that way as well. I like both of them, though. They're a good pair. The 1 and 3 has simply got the most muscle of the remaining ones within the trio. Study that one in terms of body, though. Not as correct in terms of roundness of rib. Not as good structured as the top two. The one that comes in 4 is one that's tall fronted and level lined. Not as good in terms of running gear from behind. Wants to be more awkward in terms of the way that one moves. Young lady's doing a nice job with one that's wanting to be a little uncooperative out here at the back. That's a long fronted level design one. That's got to have more power. Got to be different built in terms of spine and rear leg. Give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations. Your class winner goes to Tanner Hollers. Second in the class to Emma Hacker. Third in the class, Kinley Ball. Fourth in the class, Madison Burks. And fifth to Mackenzie Burks. We now are ready to show for reserve champion and reserve champion black-faced commercial market animal. From class number 17 in first, we had McCoy Vinsel. From class 18 in first, Caitlin Goodwin. Class 19 in first, Lydia Kerr. And class 20 in first, Tanner Hollers. From class 17 in second, we have Mariner Rains. From class 18 in second, Cheyenne Lyons. In class 19 in second, Josie Jones. And in class 20 in second, Emma Hacker, showing for champion and reserve champion black-faced commercial market animal.
Well, the black-faced crossbreds, they were good in the market show, obviously most in terms of numbers and pretty good in terms of quality all the way through. Give them a big round of applause out here. And there's some differences, and to be honest with you, it kind of comes to the 4 at the back in terms of the first and seconds out of those last 2 classes. You can change those, interchange them, make them any way you want, as long as you describe them right. The one that is going to elevate out for me within this group is one of the 2 that is very fresh to the touch, good enough in terms of movement, and that one has the advantage in terms of presence, front end assembly, and elevation. Young man out of the heavy is the champion. Congratulations to him. Young lady out of class 3 will be reserved. Congratulations to you.
Congratulations, your champion black-faced commercial market lamb goes to Tanner Hollers, and your reserve champion to Lydia Kerr. We've got 5 minutes before we go to our champion and reserve champion market animal. 5 minutes, we'll be starting our champion and reserve champion market animal. We are now ready to show for Grand and Reserve Grand Champion market animals. From our Dorsets, our champion is shown by Jalen Goodwin. Hampshire, Lydia Kerr. Katahdin, Kendall Zeich. Natural Color, Jalen Goodwin. Oxford, Tanner Hollers. Shropshire, Reagan Clark. Southdown, Josie Jones. Suffolk, Tanner Hollers. Whiteface, Carly Naylor. And your blackface champion, Tanner Hollers. In reserve on each of the breeds, Dorset, Elise Kalman. Hampshire, Mariner Rains. Katahdin, Kendall Zeich. Natural Color, Leah Stingle. Oxford, Madeline Baines. Shropshire, Josie Baines. Southdown, Braden Hudoff. Suffolk, Brian Conley. Whiteface, Braden Bailey. And Blackface, Lydia Kerr, showing for Grand and Reserve Grand Champion Market Lamb 2024 at the Monroe County Fair. Put our hands together for all these breed champions and reserve champions. And I would like to once again, Ryan, thank you very much for your time tonight. We appreciate you. You've done a thorough job. We appreciate that.
Well, I know we still got showmanship to go, but we might lose some of our crowd after we name this top 5 here. Give all these kids a big round of applause. Good sheep show. Done a nice job. It's not easy to keep these together in the dead of the summer with the heat, keep them fresh, keep them good looking, and then re-rack them and go on to the next one, which is probably, for most of these exhibitors, the state fair. So I appreciate the effort and energy that goes into it. The champion is a standout, an easy winner. I think reserve and third follow in quite well. The difficult decision for me was which one was going to be 4 and 5, and there can be a little variation in there. And so really, really good show. Before we get done and put this mic down and get you a top 5 and work out the showmanship, talked last night just a little bit, but I want to talk about a different group of people. That is all of you on the outside in the cheap seats, those guys and gals up there in the box, and the people behind the scenes that make all this work. And that part of it right there, the volunteer work, the people that do this, that is a thankless job. You have no idea how many times somebody chews on you, and it is 1,000-fold compared to the one person that will come up and tell you thank you. And without them, and without all these volunteers and these kids and whatever, this does not happen for your kids to have a place to showcase their animals and their talents and their skills. And so that is important. For all of the rest of you out here, whether you are a grandparent, a breeder, a broker, any of those things, a parent, I understand that there is a lot of times that you would rather do something else than go to the barn and work and feed your animals with your kids. Because sometimes we'd rather Netflix and chill or do something, but you do it because you know what this program does for these young people. And that is the same reason they do it for these kids, because in the end, we know that the time they spend in this program is going to make them the best young people that they could possibly be. And so there is a quote that says, 100 years from now, it does not matter what type of house I lived in, the kind of car I drove, or how much money was in my bank account. But the world might be changed because I made the difference in the life of a child. Thank all of you for making that difference in these kids' lives. Give them a nice round of applause. Young lady, it's easy. Right here. Congratulations. Young man, you're going to be reserved right here. Congratulations to you. This one's going to be third. Congratulations to you. Right here is going to be number 4. Right here is number 5.
Congratulations, your grand champion 2024 goes to Lydia Kerr. Your reserve grand champion 2024, Tanner Hollers. Third overall to Lydia Kerr. Fourth overall to Tanner Hollers. And fifth to Madeline Baines. Put her hands together for all these people one more time. We're going to take a 10-minute break before we go into the championship. 10-minute break and then showmanship. We are going to get pictures. We got Ryan here in front, so animals that want pictures, come out here in front of the stands, please. So after all the pictures are taken, we're going to take then a 10-minute break because a lot of these kids have run a lot of animals in and out of here, in and out of here. They're hot, they're tired. So before we go into showmanship, after all the pictures, we'll take a 10-minute break. And also, the small animal auction's getting ready to start, I believe, in the free stage. In the free stage, you can go down there and get you a bidder number. These kids would appreciate your help. So if you would please, all buyers that are interested in small animal auction, which is happening at 7, you can make your way down and get a bidder number down there. usual.
This way.
I mean, they wanted to really. So, yeah. Because they don't think that's like, we don't handle it. So, that was really what I never knew. There's probably more to it. If you really get to thinking deep down about it, there's probably more to it. You're right. I wasn't even paying attention.
Did you not recognize me when I looked at you earlier?
I went to school with him.
Man, I like your shoes, huh? Yeah. I'll point it out. Point it out.
Good wishes. Don't she looked at me like
That was exciting.
I guess. How about you? Oh, really? Yeah, that was. I'm John. I'm the one that bought your land. Yeah. I'm the mustache guy. belt, and he just wants to clear it. 70. You bet, buddy. You bet. Thank you.
I just called the barn. We need our first year showmanship. First year showmanship. We need you ready to go. Let's go. Would like to once again remind everybody they can go to ekbrandcollective.com/photography. All pictures taken of the shows this week will be online and they're free for you to take off the internet for your use. ekbrandcollective.com/photography. Another one I have omitted reading about tonight. Stock the trailer. Stock the trailer. Please bring non-perishable items for the Farm Credit Mid-America Monroe County 4-H food drive this week. There are bins in each barn for collection. Give to your favorite club to help them win the contest. Donations can also be put in the trailer on the south side of the poultry barn. QR codes are available at all locations to give money to purchase food. The food collection will be divided between Community Kitchen, Pantry 279, and Hoosier Hills Food Bank. We would like to thank Billy Fleetwood for the donation of the trailer this week. And thank you to Rogers Group for allowing us to weigh the trailer. Thank you to Farm Credit Mid-America and Rural First for making the food drive possible. The county. We are now ready for first year showmanship. First year showmanship. This can be an older child, but just their first year in the Lamb Club. We will have 4 entries in this class, being shown by Reagan Connard, Elise Kalman, Leah Stengel, and Brendan Conley. Ryan, I do believe our class is complete.
Let's give these 3 young ladies a nice round of applause in the first year showmanship category. Good that you highlight this part. Give these kids that are starting a new project encouragement. I think they've done a nice job out here. I think one that's going to win just has the most control of that animal in terms of getting that one set up and propped up. Young lady in the lead will be the champion showman. Congratulations to her. Young lady right behind her will be reserve. Young lady at the back will be third. Give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations, your champion goes to Leah Stengel. Reserve champion to Reagan Connard. And third to class to Elise Kalman. We are now ready to enter into the arena with our first class of juniors. Grades 3 through 5. We have 5 entries in the class being shown by Braden Hudoff, Jake Naylor, Mackenzie Burks, Kenley Ball, and Brendan Conley. I do believe your class is complete.
We have 3 classes in the junior division, and they've only asked me to pick Grand and Reserve in the end. Gonna ask this gentleman to come back for the final round, talk to the other 3 kids, told them what they did well, what they could work on in future shows. Give them a big round of applause.
We're now ready for class number 2 of the juniors. We should have 5 entries in the class. Entries being shown by Cheyenne Lyons, Effie Eganol, Henley Hill, Liam Conley, and Emma Hacker. I do believe your class is complete. Class number 3 of the juniors, you should all be in the makeup arena. Class 3 of the juniors, you should be in the makeup arena.
In this particular heat, I'm going to ask these 2 young ladies to come back. Give these other 2 girls a big round of applause for their efforts this afternoon.
Ready for class number 3. Class number 3 of our junior showmen. Should have 4 entries in this class. 4 entries in the class. Being shown by McCoy Vinsel, Elise Kalman, Leah Stengel, and Kendall Zyke. 4 entries in the class. And immediately following this class, we'll be having the 3 that have already been chosen, and whatever Ryan chooses in this class, we'll come back, we'll show for champion and reserve champion junior showman. Your class is complete. I would like to, this time, thank our sponsors again. Marge Bueller in honor of Rick Bueller. Stock Signs and Designs, B.J. McElroy, Hall's Greenhouse, Clark Landscaping LLC, RH Marlin Excavating, Hollers Welding, Furry Friends Veterinary Service, Cambry Robeson, and Naylor Trucking LLC.
In this final heat of juniors, going to ask this gentleman to come back and join the other three for the finals. Give these other three young ladies a big round of applause, please.
We are now ready to come back to show for champion and reserve champion showman. Champion and reserve champion junior showman. We have Jake Naylor from Class 1, Henley Hill from Class 2, Emma Hacker from Class 2, and McCoy Vinsel from Class 3. Your class is complete, and we will be showing for champion and reserve champion junior showman. Some more thank yous we have. Our barn mom, Rhea Hollers. Pictures, Emma Wilson and Katie Wilson, EK Collective. And tag-ins, Richard Hall and the Ring Help. Put our hands together for all these people. I would really like right now, Audrey sitting here beside me. She's my brains, I'm just a talker. And she does a great job keeping me in line. Audrey, thank you very much. And we all need to put our hands together for these adult leaders. The hours they have put in since last year are astronomical. So adult leaders, thank you very much for everything you do. We appreciate you.
As we go in here to pick a grand and reserve, please give all the kids that showed in this division, much less the finalists, a big round of applause. Last night in the pig show, showmanship was at the start, so I had never seen some of them drive before. Tonight in the sheep show, I've seen them all go multiple times. So my opinions are already kind of set in stone here. So it's going to take kind of an avalanche of disastrous proportions for me to change my mind on which one I think is the best showman, because the object of being a good and a great showman is to give you an advantage when the banner and the buckle and the money is on the line in the regular class. And so I've already seen that out here. The young lady that's going to win, I think, does so quite handily. I told her she's a little bit of a perfectionist, but I'm that way myself. The young lady right here is the champion. Congratulations to her. Gentleman at the back is going to be reserved. Congratulations to him.
Congratulations. Your champion goes to Emma Hacker. And your reserve champion to McCoy Vinsel. Let's put our hands together for both these young people. All four of these young people. I apologize. We're now ready for intermediate showmen, grades 6 through 8. We will have two classes of the intermediates. The first class, we have 4 entries. We have Carly Naylor, Garrett Goodwin, Orrin Eggenaw, and Marin Conley. Should have 4 entries in the class. And I do believe your class is complete.
first heat of intermediate showmen. This young lady's going to come back for the finals. Give the other two gentlemen a nice round of applause.
We are now ready to bring in class number 2 of our intermediates. Class number 2. We should have 4 entries in the class. We have Miley Burks, Caitlin Goodwin, Braden Hudoff, and Reagan Clark. We should have had 4. Judge, it looks like we have 3 entries.
In this particular group, going to ask this young lady to come back and fight it out with the other one for finals. Give the other two girls a big round of applause.
We're now ready to show for champion and reserve champion intermediate showman. From class number 1, we have Carly Naylor. And class number 2, we have Reagan Clark, showing for champion and reserve champion intermediate showman.
Well, let's give all 6 of the intermediate showmen and especially the 2 finalists big round of applause out here. It's getting late in the night. Sheep are ready to eat. Kids are getting tired from being out here all day, but they're doing a good job. And in deciding the grand and reserve here, it's just which one was quicker in terms of getting the feet set up constantly, just not in this division, but all throughout tonight. Young lady at the back is the champion. Young lady up front is reserve. Give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations to Reagan Clark, your champion intermediate showman, and your reserve champion. Congratulations to Carly Naylor. We are now ready to enter class 1 of our senior showman. Class 1 of our senior showman, we should have 5 entries in the class. Those entries are being shown by Brian Conley, Madeline Baines, Josie Baines, Tanner Hollers, and Jalen Goodwin. I do not see any more, so I got 3 entries.
As I said, I've already seen them go before. All 3 of you are good enough to come back for the finals. So we'll run the next class in here. Give them a nice round of applause.
Now ready for class number 2. Class number 2 of our senior showmen. We have 5 entries. Those 5 entries are shown by Mariner Rains, Samuel Baines, Lydia Kerr, Madison Burks, and Josie Jones. We are down to 4 entries in this class. We will bring back the 3 from the first class, and he will be showing now for champion and reserve champion senior showman.
I think we can say in showmanship, we definitely saved the best for last. Give these seniors a big round of applause. They kind of scared off all the boys out here, but these girls are doing a heck of a good job. And depending on where you want to put your emphasis or your preferences in terms of what is your exact type and style in terms of a sheep or goat showman, this can go many different ways. There are 3 girls out here. I think they are very, very tough, and it is very close. And it is not just in terms of how they performed right here. It is a collection of what I saw from them all afternoon. Young lady in the black is the champion. Young lady right here is reserved. Give them a nice round of applause.
Congratulations, Madeline Bain, your champion senior showman. And congratulations to your reserve champion, to Lydia Kerr. Put our hands together for all these young people. Give us just a second now. We're going to get our awards going. Can I get all club members to head down this way, please?